Remember when we talked to Desmond Clark?
What a nice
NFL
guy.
Tight end. He owns Bear Down Logistics, and
that does not surprise me. Super cool, super nice guy. And you might have something. You might be a business, and you need something moved. You got to get something down the road.
Well, in Bear Down Logistics, a BDM named Corey Davis, he works there, and he can be your point of contact if you are a business and you need something moved. They specialize in moving things for businesses.
Yeah. Full truckloads, less than full truckloads. They've got all the vehicles, the specialty vehicles that you need if you need something moved.
Yeah, semi-trucks, if you're moving staging from one place to
flatbeds, reefers, vans, all of it.
Yeah, product from the factory to your own business
convention
or distribution.
centers.
Yeah,
You got
everything.
You got this big thing you got to set up at the convention center, and you got to get it there. These are your guys.
And what you're going to get from them is the personal customer service from Corey Davis.
Yeah.
And he's going to help you out, especially if he knows you're a Tom and Dan listener. Just let him know when you give him a call.
He makes sure that it's picked up on time and delivered on time. That is his specialty.
Here's his number, 386-212-0201. Call them, let them know that you're a Tom and Dan listener, and they'll take care of you. So if you need something moved for a company, it's beardown-logistics.com.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So what did the chat room say?
I'm in a bit of a pickle now because I did not know this. In our chat room.
Do you need a nickel?
I do need a nickel. It's my nickel pickle cell. You can join us live Monday through Friday. We're on Twitch. We're on YouTube. Just search at Tom and Dan Live. Ghost of Manu Bull in our Twitch chat room said, WWE partnered with the NFL to release licensed championship belts for all 32 teams. And he said, I will be spending $600 on a Falcons belt because it's the only championship they'll ever win. That's pretty cool. I want an NFL WWE Falcons championship belt.
You can make your own for cheaper. I just got one off Trophy Smack.
But it's not officially, it's not an official licensed NFL product.
Daniel wants everything legit.
I want it legit.
If it's not legit, then it was
her belt
eat at him.
Her belt is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, all the way down to the snaps on the tail end, which that's what lets you know it's a real wrestling belt. It's got to have enough snaps on the end of it to keep it from flying off Dusty Rhodes' big fat Duke belly. Have you seen her belt? It's awesome.
I have not.
You want me to bring my belt in?
Yeah, bring your belt in. It's really good.
So, who did we talk to that makes these belts?
We had the guy
from Extreme. I actually talked to him about maybe making one for us.
Yeah, we had wrestling belts are a huge flex in that community.
Yeah.
And it's like spilling over to fantasy football, and then it's spilling over to like real football. Like, are we going to see guys like my friend Ghost of Manu Bull?
Mahomes has one.
Are we going to see him in the stands slapping the belt? And
Well, I mean, Mahomes has a belt that he was carrying on the bus. I think he had it on the field. I think
that's pretty
Super
cool.
Bowl.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Although $600 is a
stinger. That is a lot. NFL, anything NFL is extremely expensive, man.
Yeah.
Go to buy a sweatshirt. Good luck. It's $80.
Yeah, and I guess it's probably commissioned.
It'll have the stupid sticker on it. It'll have the sticker on it.
Yeah. Actually, probably is made in a factory, right?
It absolutely is, but it'll have that stupid little hologram sticker that all your new era hats have that have the little NFL logo, and that sticker is worth its price. It's like the one thing, you put that sticker on anything, it goes up 100% more.
All right, let me ask you this. You have to get the belt when they are champions. If they're not champions, then it's
UCF all over again.
Yeah, okay. You know how I feel about that. And I am UCF alumni, and UCF alumni hate me because I've said how bad of a look it was that we're the champions too. Hey, us. We're the real champions. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Please, just stop. And I'm alumni. I graduated from there. A lot of you that are screaming that didn't graduate from there. I graduated from there. It's wrong. Don't do it.
So, because if you get a championship belt and they haven't been champions in the past
ever
5 years, whatever, I guess you can get if you.
Well, you say it's intercontinental. You say it's intercontinental.
Well, then what are they the champions of?
Nothing.
Not football, because there is actually a champion of football, and last year it was the Chiefs. So maybe you have to just wait until your team becomes the champions, and some of you are going to be waiting a long time.
I'm going going to say,
especially Atlanta fans.
This will not be our year.
You may die before you ever get a belt.
Possibly. It might be a little more fun this year, but we ain't going to win. Here's what I would say. You buy it and you shelve it. I do think that buying it and waiting until your team actually wins is a better flex, but...
if they never win, though, they're just sitting up in your shelf.
They're not going to win. They had their
reality
chance.
Of life.
They had their chance, right? It's almost like you came around and we blew it. We came around and we blew it.
Everybody, I want to win. Everybody wants to win. Well, we lose.
Can't all have belts.
Yeah. There's one winner, and the rest of us are losers.
From our chat room, and I had mentioned this, I think before we even got on the air, we have a listener and a very good friend of the show, and we love her very, very much. And she made her own Philadelphia Larian.
You messed it up.
I said Dorf. I don't know why I said Dorf. Philadelphia Larian outfit. Lorian. That's why I can't say it.
It's the Philadelphia Eagles themed Mandalorian costume.
Yeah, thank you. And she made it, and now she has other people that are commissioning whatever theirs is. Like the Brown DeLorean. A Bronco DeLorean.
Okay.
The Miami Dolph DeLorean. Dolph DeLorean's not bad.
Again,
Dolph DeLorean.
You have to be the type of personality.
You have to be fun. You have to be a fun person.
That you are putting this all on.
A whimsical person.
And you get enjoyment out of other people getting enjoyment out of you. I don't have that.
So, you could have.
You started your career that way.
You could have that.
I like making people laugh, but it's not necessarily.
I think that gene has long since been gone.
You like to shock people with your
there was a whole serious podcast you did this morning. No laughs.
I've never been more serious.
All about fun. All business. All numbers.
It's about business.
My God.
I made one joke during that, and he wrote it down, and he put a demerit by it, like he was going to garnish my wages. Did you see that?
You can do serious stuff every once in a while.
He'd put a star by it. I'm like, what does that mean?
Every once in a while, all you do is crap on everyone's fun. You're doing it now. You're like, you have to be this in order to even have joy out of it.
Well,
my God, man.
Hold on, I'm going to blow up your spot. He went to our fantasy football draft, and I'll tell you what, he had on flip-flop shorts and a Dolphin shirt. So it's in there.
I wore a Dolphin shirt.
Don't let him lie to you and act like this is all business.
No one else but EJ wore any other.
I had a hat on.
Oh, a hat doesn't count.
And I wore my jersey last time. I wore my jersey last time.
I thought everybody was going to wear some sort of NFL memorabilia.
But yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's fun to do that sort of stuff. Like,
were you mad at yourself when you got there and nobody else was wearing a shirt?
Yeah, because then I was like, why did I
should have worn my polo.
Then I got mad at everybody else. I was like, I started, no one else was fun. I'm the fun one.
You beat it out of them.
We were trying to impress you. You weren't trying to impress us. It was like the gift of the Magi.
I'll tell you, I may have screwed up here. Is
this when you mumbled from the office, I think I'm a bad parent?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Tommy's been doing a couple weird things. And we were like, that's odd.
Well, don't air him out, man.
And then,
don't say, if it's weird, just keep it to yourself.
Does it involve his obsession with his middle finger?
Yeah. He's been middle fingering
everything.
So one of them is like, we'll see him randomly swat at something. We're like, what do you do that for?
Lena used to do that. It's imaginary flies.
And then
it's the flies.
And then
he's like taking Lena's medicine. He found it.
He was like. Talking to Crystal when like in the morning, Crystal will call the boys over like
boys, supper time.
And then she's still like she'll be laying in bed, she'll wake up, but she'll still be in bed. And she's like, boys, come give me a hug. They'll come give her a hug.
That's what my grandma used to do, except she was smoking.
Charlie the Chocolate Factory.
Come, I cannot walk. Come hug me in bed.
They'll hug her in bed, and then she'll just hug them. And then she heard Tommy say like, hey. Just like talking to someone. And she's like, who are you talking to?
I'm done with this. I'm never going to your house. Your kid talks to ghosts.
Don't worry, I won't tell Mom.
It's like Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle.
So
is this a Donnie Darko scenario?
So no, we were just like,
does he whisper into his chest like that?
I wrote it off as kids do weird whatever.
We are ACT,
bro.
Sorry.
Got serious.
He's having fun now.
I like that. We got him into the fun.
Oh my God.
See, that's what happens when I break my concentration. I start having fun.
He's like, I can never have fun now. See what happens?
Got too loose. Anyway, sorry about that. I pride myself in not understanding what show I did it 3 times
last week.
This week's starting out crazy.
Last week, every day was Thursday.
Anyway, I started to think maybe we're letting him play the damn VR too much. And because
I thought they didn't like it.
Well, how does that correlate?
Well, okay, I'll explain. He started now he's playing. He got into this game called Gorilla Tag on VR.
I played Gorilla Tag,
and
I used to play that in the locker room.
And so he plays it with Becca and then some other kids that he knows.
Yeah.
And then I put the VR headset on. First, I had to lower the volume of it because the kids are screaming.
Goddamn hip-hop is so loud in my ears.
No, it's not about that. It's about what the kids are screaming. And the kids are just screaming the F word.
Yeah, the N word, yeah.
Not the N word, but it's not that. We make that, I think that's for old, these are younger kids.
You know, Xbox is N word, VR is F word. Yeah.
They're definitely saying the S word or pushing the limits. Anyway, so you turn the volume down. I'm like, all right, if you don't hear them, that's fine.
We have other children that play Gorilla Tag.
Okay, yeah.
We have their parents in the chat room.
So. And then I settled that it was fine if you play it with people you know, and then you're just hanging out with kids in a digital world.
Hanging out with kids in a digital world.
By the way, I'm just justifying everything I do at this point.
You're like,
it's about laziness,
how you're like
pure
hanging
laziness.
out with kids in a digital world.
I could force them to do work, and I could do a lot of other good parenting hard work, and I'm not choosing to do that. I'm letting the VR be my parent.
I'm glad you're finally admitting it.
So anyway, but we still limit the time, although it does tell you that there's a age limit that is suggested, which I thought kind of like PG-13. It was loose based on
it's 13.
It's
13 plus, I think, right?
And I thought that was more of a PG-13 type of recommendation. You're right, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. My gosh, swallowed.
The first thing that pops up when I put Gorilla Tag Game Parents Guide on the Reddit, it says immediately, this game is definitely for players over the age of 13 due to a reason. It is very hard to moderate voice chat, and VR can affect eyesight.
Well,
that's the first thing that's listed.
I think that's what he's concerned about. The imaginary flies he swung. I'm picking up what you're laying down here. Dr. Danny's here.
And to move in Gorilla Tag, you have to run like a gorilla.
You have to do your hands.
You have to do the arms. Oh, I'm going to play this when I get home. I'm playing this.
All yours torso. You have no legs.
Look how good I am.
I remember when I got on there. First, I got on there, and the kids
I paid money to see that.
The kids are yelling.
Come on, we need TikTok content. What are you doing?
You don't have gorilla shoulders. You got to be able to do this.
And then everybody's running around, and I'm like, how do I move? And Tommy's like, you have to use your gorilla fist to move.
You can't do that.
And then I'm all slow.
Where's your shoulder? You're a hurt gorilla. Injured gorilla.
I'm just sitting there. I'm trying to drag myself, drag my torso.
Like the bicycle girl from Walking Dead, the first episode.
And then he's like, you got to run like you're punching a
speed bag.
A speed bag, but down. Anyway.
I think I could crush it this game.
I did what every old man does. I'm like, this is not for me. It was stupid. And then, but then
dismiss it, move on.
And we have time limits. The boys are getting nefarious when it comes to learning how to get beyond the time limits we set, which we thought were impervious to.
Well, how are you doing? Are you guys the barrier? Because that's the problem.
Well, we set their their iPads, the VR. You can only do it through Alexa. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't actually physically turn off, but their iPads and the phones will.
Right.
Like, you set it where it turns off after 1 hour, and then it just goes to a code screen.
Yeah, nothing.
They can't do nothing.
Yeah.
Which we realize is better is easier for us as a parent than telling them to stop.
Yeah.
Because then they get mad at us. If the computer just stops, then it's like the computer did it for us, and then they can only be mad at the computer, not us.
It's like, sorry, not us. Your computer parents get mad at us.
Again,
you have to write Robo-Mommy.
So, listen, I'm just telling the truth. Don't get mad at me.
Is anybody judging you here? I don't believe so.
I mean, I'm judging. I'm not getting mad.
She's not saying anything.
It's your kid.
I mean, she's judging it, but she's not saying it.
I would judge myself.
Right.
But a lot of people.
I'm not getting mad. I'm just
not affected by it at all.
I scan the environment. A lot of people are doing this too.
Yeah, right.
You're like,
you guys are making animals.
I would love to have my daughter play VR. She doesn't.
Well, you're not. The more research I'm doing, you really shouldn't. Any game they shouldn't be playing on VR for too much because it's not good for
their eyeballs.
motor skills.
I thought an hour was fine based on no
no research. It's just like
I just thought an hour of anything can't be that bad.
I mean, an hour of radiation, you'll be all right. You'll live.
Yeah.
You'll live.
You may get cancer way down the line.
I think your papa probably walked around in Hiroshima for an hour with his best bros high-fiving, having a Bud Regular.
He did. He told me.
And he lived to be 90s, whatever the F. So, I mean, an hour of anything is probably okay. I feel what you're saying here.
Now, maybe if you walked in Hiroshima every day for an hour,
and then you started doing your hands like gorillas on Hiroshima and exposing your hands to the Earth radiation.
So I'm taking the VR back to the studio, and
you're going to end up.
We told them, we were like, it's the company.
You told them, just take it away.
Wait, so what was going on with the whispering?
We think it was him because then they
talking to the gorillas in his mind. It's the mind gorillas.
Yeah, well, then
don't worry, gorillas. I'll get out of here.
We allowed him to chat once he was just with his friends and cousin, and then that you chat within the gorilla game. And I think he was just his brain is screwed up.
Don't worry,
I screwed his brain up.
I love you more than I love my parents' gorilla friends.
So I just got to take it away from him, and his brain will go back.
See what happens. You got to see what happens.
It'll go back. It always goes back.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. That's the good thing about human brains. You can screw them up.
Yeah, it's like a rubber band.
So you don't know what he was whispering. You're not investigating that at all. You're just like, oh, it must be the game.
It's the past.
He's a goddamn Sixth Sense kid, and you don't even know.
It's the past.
No, I think he was just whispering. Like he got confused over if he was in reality or VR.
Okay, Sam. If I were going to kill my parents, I would whisper to my gorilla friends the plan. That's what I would do.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that anybody else out there that's letting their 9-year-old. Again, also because he was 9, I was like 9, 13. I was playing the.
Yeah, but how long's he been playing it? Over a year already?
Since he was about 3 and a half. No, I think in the last year.
Yeah, because he wasn't into it until he learned that he can go in there with because he
likes the social aspect, right?
Yes, and that's what I've learned about all these games.
Because it's easier for him to be social in that environment because he likes to hide with the hoodie.
Yes.
Makes sense to me.
No, he's going to be an incel.
They didn't like. I think a lot of just introvert extrovert. It's like I think it's a 50-50 in society, or more. There's more introverts than extroverts. I think.
Like Maisie was talking to me this morning about how she knows her friends. Like, this is a real conversation we had this morning at breakfast, where we were talking about like practicing, and Maisie was like, "A lot of my friends don't like to go in front of the class and read."
Sure.
And I go, "Can you go in front of the class and read?" And she says, "Yeah, I like it." She's like, "But Daddy," and this is her, not me. She goes, "But I get on stage. I like being up there."
Right.
I mean, she already knows. Like, she already knows what she's doing, and she already knows what she's comfortable with. And those guys that aren't comfortable with it, they know too.
Yeah, Max he's
a performer.
He doesn't mind. He's in breakdancing
he enjoys
class.
It.
He's in the middle of the circle.
Like when they say we need a volunteer. Maisie and Max's hands go up. Tommy, you don't even know where Tommy's at. You can't find him.
I know what that feels like. I was like that my entire life. It was make me a fly on the wall, but it's like him. I didn't want to be picked. I didn't want to be in front of the class. I didn't want the attention. I don't want to be on stage, and so I relate to that feeling. But I also think he can work on it. And I constantly tell him the only way that you're going to get better at this is by forcing yourself to
give it a shot.
You just keep doing it. He didn't want to go to that painting class though, because he didn't want to.
But he did it.
Everybody to judge his painting, or like he didn't want to have everybody look at.
One day I feel like that, and it's for me even too. Like I'm like May, where I like to get on the stage, but with it comes even I think more anxiety than even she has. Like she benefited from Andrea, right?
Yeah.
So she's like a version of me. Like I do enjoy performing. I like making people laugh, or there's no reason why I would do this, right? But not as much as May does. Like when I see her, like I have a barrier there that I have to work hard to get past. I don't think she has it, which is good. I mean, there's good things that come with it.
Speaking of PG-13, 2 things. One, we watched again as a family, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I saw that, and I was concerned.
Watching that, man.
I was concerned.
And
because the last time you watched it,
they were little though. I thought
it was 2 years ago,
something like that,
or so.
Yeah.
And you said that you traumatized at least Tommy, maybe both Tommy and Max, with the Judge Doom death scene.
Yeah.
So when you were taking your dad photos on your Nokia phone on your couch, saying the fam's watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I'm like, now did he forget that they watched this movie already?
They knew, and
it's like a favorite, right?
They were a bit like it affected them less, and it is kind of goofy. When we watched I remember watching that when I was too young, I think, and being scared of when he got ran over by the steamroller.
How does it hit now?
What, to them?
No, to you.
Oh, I'm laughing at that. I watched this probably too young, but there is something inside me that is like, oh my, like it's the guy is getting smushed alive, and he's screaming, and then it smushes his head.
You know, that's outside one of the Warner Brothers.
They dunk a shoe in acid.
Yeah. Oh, I love those. When the cartoons die, those are always the funniest ones.
Oh yeah. Well, he literally dunks a pleading for his life cute shoe into acid and kills him.
Straight murder.
Then we watched the second day, Indiana Jones, and the what was the first one? What was it called?
Temple of Indiana Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, which. Again, the ratings were different in the 80s.
Right.
So it was rated PG.
Were there boobies?
No, just a lot of violence and death.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of...
and it's also Middle Eastern people, and we didn't care, right? Like, they kill them, and they fly off the cliff, and...
Well, it's more...
Nazis.
There's Nazis, but there's like...
If it's a bad guy, I feel like they were like all in and killing him.
Yeah, they've like shot in the head. Yeah, like bullets to the head.
If it's a terrorist or something, they're like, that's fine.
But also like the, in the temples, the zombie-like, they the dead body comes popping out and it's riddled with
arrows and arrows.
Yeah, because it's left over from the last trap that killed.
Right.
Although the actual masks look so ridiculous in '81 that we were telling the boys, look how rubber, and they kind of laughed at how rubber mask it was. But it was like, it's violent.
I remember watching Raiders of the Lost Ark with my dad. And it got me a little bit. I was like, this is not something I should be watching. I was like, blood. Blood.
So anyway,
the heart scene in Temple of Doom got me real bad too.
I think I thought Temple of Doom was way worse, and I think it is.
The heart scene.
Yeah.
The heart scene got me. I was like, what?
We were too young.
I was affected by it
because it came out in '81, and we probably watched it. Like I wasn't born until '82. So I must have watched this at 5 years old or so, 6 years old. I don't know. Who knows? There was no rules in my house.
No.
So I mean, I don't know when.
So you're keeping that trend, huh?
Well, 8 and 9. The thing is, it's like, how coddled do I want to?
Right.
Like, they don't experience any adversity or any trauma outside of these shows and movies. Like me and Crystal, I'm not kicking down the door drunk and kicking the dog around or
right.
I
don't think it's harming them. If you're
trauma's not always violence and abuse.
No, it's not. It's not.
But I'm just saying, they don't.
Everything. You make those examples a lot, and there's other forms of trauma.
There is, but there's also, we live in a time now where we're even get some of our best. Like, I feel like now there is some pushback on what you're saying is absolutely correct. Not all trauma comes in your standard forms, but also not everything is trauma. Yeah. And there's a balance of that.
And 8 and 9, they're not 3 and 4.
Well, I think the important part is you're there to watch it with them and kind of answer any questions they might have, right? I mean, that's kind of... I never had that luxury, right? So normally anything I was watching was never with my parents. If I was watching something that was hyper scary that I didn't understand, I was probably sneaking.
We don't know what they're seeing on YouTube. So.
I mean, they're not seeing anything, horrible. Like, I know my sons, and they're not being exposed to something... they tell us too, especially Tommy, and Max would like, and I kind of want to toughen them up a little bit as they get older. Like, I don't know when you do that. I mean, I know there's probably a more healthy way to do it, but it's like, watching Indiana Jones with them doesn't seem like I'm exposing them to something traumatic that's going to affect the rest of their life.
Because you're there to explain it to them.
Yeah, and we're like, this is fake. This is movie. No one said that to me when I watched it.
Those are the things I would like to do.
At 6.
Like I would like to enjoy those type of movies. It's just not. I mean, we'll talk about it on the BDM show. But Maisie went to her first theater movie.
Yeah.
Like, even articulating that on this show makes me feel like a weirdo. Like, because people are like, oh, how old is she? And I'm like, 8, and they're like, whoa. What are you, Jehovah's Witness? Or like people want to ask me, like, oh, religious guy, right? I'm like, no, not something she's typically asking to do. That's all. Nothing real.
Yeah. If she would have asked her begging Daniel and Andrew to
I've wanted to go before. I've asked her to go before. She's like, nah, I'm not interested.
Yeah. She's in a hard work and dance, and like my sons aren't into hard work and dance, or committing themselves to something now 5 days a week. I wish they were. All kids are different. They're all,
absolutely.
But I'm constantly trying to understand how I can make them more well-adjusted, and I don't know. I mean, who knows?
It's hard.
I'm sure there's...
I think you're doing a good job. All we can do is question it and try to continue to do what we do.
It's just you create a stable environment for them. That's seems to be a big one about, right? Just an environment where they're not constantly scared of the next thing that's going to happen, or they don't know where their next meal is coming from.
Well, they don't have that.
Schedule,
what you're talking about, they don't even have. They're well-adjusted guys.
So then it's like, well, all right, what's the next thing? Showing them this movie. How bad is it? Doesn't seem that bad, and it seems like they should understand that there's violence in movies and what it is, or I don't know. At 8, 9,
I see with May. We gotta take a break, but I see with May, I see a complete and utter, almost like a flippant attitude with things that isn't like me, where she'll be like, "Oh yeah, he died," and I'm like, "Oh," but maybe we're not there yet. To talk about that. I don't know.
But she's a logical like Andrea, though, too. You know what I'm saying? And then
she is.
And then someone's super
less
logical,
emotional than me.
And then,
we got to take a quick break.
We will be right back. All right, Drew. Next question.
Next mini game.
Oh my God. I thought the show couldn't get worse.
Choose wisely.
Okay. All right. We have slips of paper.
Don't let anyone see it.
All right. That Drew is handing us.
Okay.
Oh, I get the last one.
Save the list.
Right.
Okay.
Are we supposed to look at this or not?
Now you can look at this, but this is the game Humdinger. So you're gonna have to hum. You're gonna have to hum this song.
Okay.
That's in your thing.
I got it.
And you get a point if someone guesses it, and if you guess it, you get a point. So it's a chance for
all right. Double points.
Yeah,
possible?
double points. But when you hum, no doo-doos, no da-das, only
No doo-doos, no da-das.
What about drums with what if I want to Michael Winslow it up a little bit and add some drums?
He said humming
only.
Yeah, hums.
Okay.
So
I can't give
so
a
do
beat.
you want to go first? Dan, since you picked first?
I'll go.
Tom.
Damn. You said it first.
I'm a Barbie girl.
Bye.
Oh, I didn't know. Is that the name of the song? Hold on, what was the rule?
Hey, that's the rules.
I'm a Barbie girl.
I'm kidding.
I'm like, bye, and you're like,
You don't have to name who it's by.
I know. Do I get a point if I know?
Hold on. I think it's like Choomba Woomba.
Choomba Woomba.
Something like that, right?
You just blew Samantha's shoes off.
He said, I'm a Barbie girl. Choomba Woomba.
Choomba Woomba. We need a shirt that says, I'm a Barbie girl by Choomba Woomba right now. Print the shirt.
Who's it by?
Aqua.
Yeah.
And it's just Barbie girl.
But you got a point.
You did get a point.
The two of you got a point.
Oh, I got a
That's
point
true,
because you got
because
all right.
yes.
Yeah, I got 2 points. You got 3
All
points.
right. Tom's in the lead right
All
now.
right.
Tom, you want to do your humming
Yeah, go
of
ahead.
your
Okay.
song?
Hums only.
Humdinger. Hums only.
Why does it look like you're in pain? You can breathe while you hum.
He can't hum. He can't skip. I don't think he can hum.
You get it?
You sounded like you were coughing. You're like, you're like,
sounded
help,
like
help.
you were choking.
No,
I
he sounded like a person trapped in the trunk of a mobster. He's like,
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me.
put some tone on it, man.
Well, there's no tone in the hum.
You go.
There's got to be tone in a hum.
Is that the Nickelodeon
He
theme
looks
song?
like a baby bird going.
Is that the?
You got this.
So
Come on.
obvious. Hold on. God. Shut up, Drew. Don't make me laugh. Hold on.
He's spitting everywhere.
Just close your eyes and do it.
He can't hum.
He can't get to the end. I don't know what it is.
I don't think he can hum.
I can't change my pitch in the hum.
Yeah, you're just going. You sound like an old K car. You sound like my dad's old Chrysler K car.
Hold on. Hold on. Damn it!
Why can't you just hum? You know what he sounds like he's doing? The Nickelodeon song. Go.
I thought he was doing Mario.
No, Mario. Go, hold
What the
on.
hell are you doing?
Please
Hold
don't,
on,
Get
yell,
mad at us.
Hold
please
on.
don't yell at our producer because she's
Hold on.
correcting your weirdness. Your eyes are sweating. Right under your eyes is
I
sweating.
was hoping he'd get this one.
He's trying so hard. Adele.
He's nailing it. He's got
He
it.
is not nailing it because nobody
Yeah.
knows what the hell it is.
I felt like you're destroying your
Is
voice.
this the chorus?
It's Santeria. It's Santeria.
Now that you know, do it again.
Well, why
you can
not?
hear it.
No.
That's what I was doing.
No. No, I am sorry. Why are you so angry?
Yeah, yours is way too hard.
There's that much energy
You
to
don't,
get it
no,
out.
you don't know how to hum. It's
You don't
like
know how to
it says, yeah, it's easy. You're trying too hard, man. You're overthinking it. You're overthinking your hum.
How do you overthink a hum?
I
I'm
mean,
trying
it's
to
pretty
get the
telling.
pitch out.
It's pretty
I feel
telling.
like you're getting like PSI in your cheeks,
Yeah,
dude.
let's move on to Sam. Or you're
So
gonna
nobody
end up-
gets a point
Nope,
there,
no
right?
point.
You're gonna hurt
But we all
yourself.
won, I
You
feel
don't
like.
need to hum. It's making you sweat.
Tom,
Tom.
my P word and my crack.
That's not the name of the song.
Dan, my neck, my back.
Yes.
My P word. This guy's just Tom. P word.
Pervert!
You're a
He's a
pervert.
pervert!
This game was all a big ruse to figure out who's the pervert on the show, and you are a non-humming pervert.
Oh, God.
This is the craziest game show you've ever done.
Yeah?
And I'm here for it. All right, how close are we to, are we
God.
moving right along?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
we're moving
Dan
right
got a
along.
point for that.
All right.
And I get a point, right?
Yeah,
for
yeah,
you
yeah.
guessing it. So me and Tom are both tied 4-4, and Dan's right behind us at 3.
Ah, nice. Shaping up like a nice little game. All right.
I could listen to Tom hum. all
I
day.
can't.
I can.
It
hurts my
me.
throat.
Yeah, I'm with Sam. It like triggers me. I can't look at it in his face because he's turning blood red when he does it.
My P word, my crack. You thought that was the name of the song.
And the Grammy nominations are.
All right, keep going.
All right. Question number 5. Hint. Ebenezer Tom. Back to the Friday Free Show. Dan mentioned that Andrea planned a dollar movie theater night. What were Tom's sentiments about going to a dollar movie night?
Oh, God.
Dan,
Yeah.
bah humbug.
Nah.
No. He's an Ebenezer
I-
Tom. I was
I-
going with the clue.
I know
You're
how
right.
I feel about it.
Sam, it stinks.
No, but I like that.
I don't know.
Something about it's the worst thing I could possibly think of. I don't know what is it, Drew?
Quote. I didn't work this hard to sit with poor people.
Oh, wow.
God
That's one of
damn.
those ones that unless I hear you say it,
He is
it reads
that
wrong.
is Scrooge.
Have you ever written our show down? Don't ever write our show down.
Yeah, don't transcribe it.
I wrote our show down one time with one of those services that'll do like the transcribe, you know? And
Yeah.
I did it. Don't do that because it doesn't read right. You got to be there. Next question.
All right. This is the last question.
Okay.
What's the score?
Again, 4-4 and 3. Me and Tom are tied.
All right, here we go. Hint. I'm not here to have fun. Now get to work. On Friday's episode titled Deeper Than Bill, Tom talked about how he hates when people name their fantasy football leagues with silly names. What did Tom say the league name should be? And I need this to be exact.
Wow.
Or close.
You should get this.
Tom,
Yeah.
the Fantasy Football League. 2024.
Is that correct?
I feel like I got to give it to you.
Yes.
It's Fantasy Football League LLC.
That's right. I
Way
do
funnier.
remember that.
That's way
yeah.
funnier.
All right, so that was the last question. So Tom wins.
You win.
All right, so this game's almost over.
Although he should get some points taken away for that humming.
Yeah, the humming was
situation.
just
oh, it was a highlight.
really disappointing.
Also, forgot what year it is.
Your brain just-
I like that. I'll give you
I was
points
like, oh,
for
he's
that.
jumping
You know what?
ahead to
If
next
he
year.
forgot the year, I feel like he deserves to win. I like that. I mean, that's just pure. That's
God
freedom.
damn it.
If you can forget what year you're in, that's freedom.
My God, man.
Are we good on time?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you're
All right,
good.
sweet.
You're good.
So we got our prizes. Who's the third
Unless
place?
Jack has decided that he does not want this.
Shut this down.
It's completely possible that Jack Bradshaw heard
Right,
this.
you don't listen.
Yeah, but yeah, why would he waste his time with this?
What are the places?
So Tom won with 5, I was at 4, and Dan was at 3.
So I've heard throughout the last couple months, like, you had more fun when you wore a hat. And I think maybe people have more fun when they wear a hat, right? Maybe a hat's part of the fun.
Getting goof hats.
So in third place is Dan.
Yep.
Oh, whoa! I will rock that.
It might be hard with the
hat.
headphones.
That's getting rocked right now.
What is that?
Hold on.
That's like an old lady church hat.
No, this is like.
And look at the breathability.
Game. You know the Red Ladies Society that old ladies join? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, it goes with your
I
shirt.
do, yeah.
Wait, can I put this? I'm going to put my headphones on first.
I mean, who actually wears
mom
that
would've
hat?
worn
Is it like a...
My
The
mom-
Red Hat Society.
The
yeah.
Red Hat Society. Yeah, my mom would have worn this for sure. Hold on, where's my...
Oh, it's got a little shirt.
It matches your
absurd.
shirt.
Yeah, it looked good. Second place?
Yeah. What do I get?
Look at this thing.
Ooh, I'm rocking that.
This is pretty
I
sweet.
got a sparkly pink hat.
Now, I do want you to know on all these hats, they've all been Lysoled and washed.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you, Drew.
I thought they've all been loused. I'm
Appreciate
like,
that.
terrible at throwing.
I
but
like,
I know, sorry.
I like your hat.
That's a
Sam.
sweet hat, right?
Yeah, that's a Rhythm Nation, Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation hat. She can put her pony through it. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
why do I feel like mine's going to be the most
I hope it's
ridiculous?
a D-head.
That's a good looking hat on you. Oh, no. This is the one you want.
yes. Tom Van American.
Yeah.
Disco Cowboy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Good. Look at that thing. Hey, everybody, look.
Disco Cowboy's here.
It's
too
award-winning conservative broadcaster Michael Savage.
So we have our last challenge. And this is a test to see if Tom can actually have fun. Remember when we were a kid and we'd play that game, Keep the Ball in the Air? Did you ever play that?
Yeah.
Hot potato.
They have some sort of event where they put...
It's a balloon thing.
Yeah, 2 people, and there's a car in there and some
Yeah,
office
it's like
furniture.
the World Balloon
Yeah.
Championships.
Yeah.
So you can't hit it more than once in a row. And everyone's got to hit it at least once, and we got to get to 10 hits. And if we can't,
This
we
is
all...
great for radio, Drew.
I know. Well, can we have a fun song playing when we try?
Sure. What do you want? Do you want...
Something summary.
Do you want my P word, my crap?
Oh, yeah.
We need the edited
Yeah.
version, please.
Yeah, let me see if I can find...
Get the 10 hits, and we're safe. If we don't, we all take our fireball.
And it can't hit the ground.
Can't hit the ground, but it can bounce off all this other crap.
Okay, well, that's going to be impossible, Drew. Someone's going to hit it too hard, and it's
We're
going
going to knock over all
No.
the cameras and the lights.
Believe. Have fun.
I think this is it.
All you ladies pop.
All right. Ready?
I think we have to edit that.
Oh, yeah, I can't play that.
Yeah.
I got excited.
The first letter.
They don't even have like an edited version. I typed in edited.
Radio edit.
Yeah, they don't even have that. It's gonna have to be silent. Too.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's either
Hey, let's have Tom hum through
Oh,
it.
yeah, Tom, will you hum with
it's
it?
either full P word, full crack, or no music at
All right, here we go. 10 hits, and we're safe from our
God.
shots. Ready?
Okay.
Can't hit it more than once in a row.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We did it.
11.
Champions! Champions!
Well, we don't get to drink the poison.
Yeah.
It's yours. You can have it whenever you want.
Okay. Well done.
All right,
oh
Drew.
my God.
All right. Everything's falling.
What the hell did we just do?
I don't know, but we did it. Do you have anything to
Look,
plug?
we had fun, right?
I don't know if the listeners did.
They loved it. They loved Tom's humming.
Did you have fun?
Oh, a blast.
Does
Such a good time.
your wife still encourage? Like, does she still not know you do this?
Oh, no, she knows I do.
She's
it.
okay
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it?
oh, yeah, she loves it.
Okay, she doesn't think we're like abusive to you or
She gave
anything.
me a little kiss, said, good luck, honey.
Oh,
Out the door today.
that's so sweet. How do you feel like this one went?
I loved it. I don't know.
I thought this was a good one.
The hum was a highlight for me.
Yeah.
I didn't even. I was like, they're not even going to like this game.
It's
They're
weird.
Gonna,
What is
you
my
know
time-
it's weird though.
Yo.
You know it's weird. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you know it's weird, I love it.
It's like if I try to hum the note of the song, I'm pushing too hard.
Well,
Yeah, why are you
can you and I
pushing so
practice
hard?
humming? If I give you a note, can you match it? We were doing that the other day. Remember? There you go. Bring it up a little bit. You're flat.
Okay, with
I feel like a rock's moving somewhere.
No, that's not. That's not humming. That's not
struggling.
humming.
Yeah,
It's like,
relax.
I don't know what that is. Like, help!
Yeah. You're suffocating.
how do you show the difference? Yeah, it's when I push past the low
Stop
notes.
pushing. Stop pushing.
But it
It's
just
not a
goes
push.
low then.
What? Now,
that's good.
okay. Now what you're doing is not humming. Now
That's
what you're doing,
close.
you're just going.
What was that? What happened there?
Sound like a rubber chicken. A rubber chicken running out of air.
My throat is like it doesn't close in the back. It's all
open throat.
What else?
You're the throat goat.
I guess the topic here for me would be, what else did you not learn as a child? Like
This is sad.
Like you don't know how to skip. You don't know how to hum.
Doesn't know emotions.
I mean, well, that I'm just like, I've given up on that. But like the skipping thing, you should know. Well, that's him and DJ Khaled. They're not into that. It's a sign of weakness if you do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's just certain things I haven't done in a long time that I did. It's not like I was humming around as a kid.
Right.
Like
you're not a music guy. You didn't
whistle, I guess.
You're not a
Can you whistle?
Let me try to whistle Santeria.
Oh, that was the intro. That was the wind blowing over the beach.
You poor. I almost screamed, "You poor mother," and then the F word.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know,
He struggles through everything. It's too hard.
Sounded scared.
you literally.
Can you snap?
You whistle like
snap.
Stephen Hawking. You can't whistle. You're like.
Trying to blow out a candle.
All right, let's talk about something else.
Yeah, all right. You got anything to plug?
No.
All right.
Oh, Bad at Business Beer Fest.
Yeah.
All right,
Want to talk about it?
Are you going to be there, Drew? You're going to have
Yeah, I was
prizes for people?
But,
Why
not?
What if we set up a tent and you had
Trivia. And
you had the first 50 you just had 50.
okay.
And the first 50 people that hit your tent.
We'll give you some prizes.
Yeah,
away.
we'll scoop up some prizes around here. What if we added it to the vendor row, like the fun row?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
got
trying to
an
make you
extra-
work.
No, let's do
but
it.
I think people like you,
Yeah.
and I think our listeners would line up to get a chance to play this stupid game because it's super fun.
We should do an old school kissing booth.
Yeah,
Who's going to be getting kissed?
I like your pervert ways. This guy's got his
You're a straight pervert
He's got
today.
his all-American pervert hat on. He's ready to roll.
They don't do that anymore, and I feel like
The kissing booth?
COVID's over.
Yeah.
We could do a good old fashioned kissing booth.
I want to do the old jail where you go and you find a predominant member of the community and you're like, sorry, you got to come with me, buddy Dyer. We're locking you up for charity. And then you lock them in a jail that's made of crepe paper, and then you have to bid to get them out.
Okay, yeah.
Remember that?
Or like the bid to date someone, like
Sadie Hawkins-y type?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no, the ones where you like have a bachelor on the stage.
Like an auction.
yeah, and then
dating auction.
and then horny old ladies bid on you.
the Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, and then you go out with them and stuff.
We wanted to do a dunk tank, but we've been back and forth with that.
Okay, you're killing the dunk tank?
Well, I feel like people.
What about a Gravitron? Just one ride, Gravitron only. Just Gravitron.
I feel like that could put us in some sort of insurance liability.
What
Wild
about this
pitches,
one? This was
maybe?
a big one at all the church carnivals I had. This would be good for Bad at Business Beer Fest. It was a refrigerator box that there was an adult inside, and he had a bucket of candy, and you would take a fishing pole with a clothespin on the end of it, and you throw the fishing pole in, and then the adult would put candy on the other side, and you'd pull it out. And I was so stupid that I thought that there were fish in the refrigerator box. That's how dumb I am.
Can I look at your paper, Tom? Because I was just thinking about the odds of you getting Santeria.
I made that for him,
Well,
hoping
how
he'd
did
get
he
it.
get it?
I don't know.
I kind of picked up on what you were doing. You were like leading me. He was leading me
leading
towards,
the witness.
Yeah, and I wanted to make sure I
And
got
then I got my P word, my crack. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a
Actually,
setup.
Yeah,
I made
it's
that
a
one for you,
pervert.
too.
It was a pervert
I
set.
knew it.
was a pervert
Goddamn
set.
perverts.
no,
surrounded by perverts.
Listen, I had no idea. They were mixed up. There was no leading.
Yeah,
Innocent.
but he put the one to the Dan and me. I took the middle.
It's the old,
I thought about taking the outside though.
You could have.
Oh man, can you do my P word, my crack?
That's what it sounds like.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right.
It is
a lot
time.
to think about.
Yeah, have to go to the drawing board after this one.
We will be right back.
Don't call it a comeback. I'm Dan.
Oh God.
Wait, you can't do prov? You left me hanging, man. You no yes and on that. Absolutely no yes and on
Fun is
that.
over. Get to work.
I
We've
know.
been here for years.
That's the acceptable answer. Well done. Hey, do you want to do voicemails or do you want to help me figure out a way to have my loving wife wear more slutty lingerie? I want my wife to wear slutty lingerie all the time.
I don't think it's comfortable.
It looks comfortable.
I don't know.
What do you wear to bed? Give me your real, come on, let's get to brass
llama
tacks.
panties.
No, I want the real deal. Do you wear a bandana to bed?
No, I stopped doing that because when I woke up, I was trying to comb my hair, and then it creates like an indentation into my hair.
It smushes your hair down, yeah.
And then no matter what, I couldn't brush it out. It was like a crease in my hair.
Yeah.
And it was bothering me, so now I
hair crease.
sleep without it.
Okay, all right. So
but
what do you normally wear?
Boxers and a V-neck.
An old man?
Yeah, you're just like my dad. You just like my dad. You know what my dad would say?
Man.
My dad in heaven right now is looking at you when you go to bed, and he's like, oh, there's a goddamn patriot right there. My dad is happy that that's the way you dress. What do you wear to bed, Sam, if I may?
It depends. It all varies.
Do you wear lingerie?
Not to sleep in.
Then what the hell's it for?
It's for like the presentation.
No. When I was a young boy, every television show and every movie, when you would see the girl going to bed, she would wear a spaghetti strap satin gown to bed.
Okay,
and that's what I like.
That's a gown.
Look nice.
It's a nightgown.
Look
That's
nice
different.
when you go to bed. Look nice. Don't look like don't.
Well, same applies to you, MFers.
I look great.
What are you wearing? Your old grungies?
I do wear old grungies.
Okay.
I wear just a pair of tidy whities. That's it.
Yeah, that's not sexy.
It's pretty sexy. It's pretty sexy because I've got
I've got
a sort of a white, pink, brown potato tattooed thing going on. Like I got like a potato tattoo body.
My Meemaw used to wear like a nightgown, and like anytime I saw her at night.
No, but that was like a quilted one. I'm talking about the ones that you can see the nips.
Yeah, like a sexy. Yeah, it wasn't a sexy nightgown,
No.
but it was.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a nightie.
It was a gown, and it had
Moo-moo.
like lace and like pearls on
Pearls,
it.
yeah. It's got after 5.
I was like, doesn't that hurt when you sleep? Like
the pearls, they get used to the pearls.
It's scratchy.
They're hard old ladies.
Like,
a lot of those old ladies used to work in military hospitals. They're hard. They've seen some stuff.
It's like
they've had to amputate their husband's leg because of the Nazis. You've never lived, you've had to cut your own husband's leg off because of a Nazi. That's a tougher lady.
Yeah, it's like sleeping in a wedding dress. It's all hard.
Yeah, exactly. But my point is, what my wife wears is just, here's the way I would spin it. She's too pretty to go to bed looking like that. You're too pretty to look like that when you go to It's the same way I say at the strip club. At the strip club, you're too pretty to be working here.
I know, but I say that to waitresses.
Yeah, you say it at Hooters.
The breakfast place.
Yeah. Oh, that's when it's real. You're allowed to say it at Hooters. You can't sexually arouse waitresses at breakfast places, but at Hooters, it's encouraged.
I like the old, you're too pretty to be working here, because you're like, why'd you say that to me?
You want to know my embarrassing move? Can I do my embarrassing move?
Well, I am working here.
Yeah, it's kind of an insult. It's like, well, are you going to offer me a job, old man? You're just saying.
I will, but it's only for like 2 minutes after this lap dance. Sam, can I do my old strip club trick on you? I'll spit my game. My strip club. It's embarrassing.
Do it with me.
Okay, I'll do it with you. Okay. It's a better role play. I don't want to pull Sam into our horribleness.
Don't spit anything at me.
Okay, this is me in a strip club. Okay. You have to. What's your strip club name? You need a strip club name.
I was going to say Betsy.
Well, Betsy Ross. She walks out, she's draped in a flag, she's got an old gray wig on. What are you doing, Betsy? Up next on Center Stage. Hold on. Coming up next on Center Stage and dancing to the national anthem is a new girl. Welcome, long booby Betsy Ross, draped in the flag. It's a rag, it's a flag. It ain't no rag, it's a flag, and you never wear it on your head.
Hold on, I do like a very patriotic strip club where everybody.
Should we start a patriotic strip club?
Like Betsy Ross.
Should we start we could call it Betsy's. That's not a bad name for a strip club, right? Betsy's. Betsy Ross's.
I mean, you have what's that chick from Alaska?
Palin, Nailin' Palin. Nailin' Palin.
Yeah, Nailin' Palin, Betsy Ross.
Yeah, you got a big old Obama in there. Are we doing boys too, or just ladies?
Oh, you can have Obama, a sexy Obama.
Yeah, for the ladies.
A no Obama. Well, it leans more right. You know.
Well, most of the guys in the Dancing Bear compilations are built more like an Obama than they are built like a Biden.
Well, this is a weird female establishment.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
I guess you can do both.
I was going to do both.
That's going to alienate a lot of our crowd. Yeah. Anyway, what do we got here?
Yeah, we're going to do voicemail email. You want to do that?
Hold on. Our guest is calling us.
All right.
Line 2.
Line 2. Okay, we're going to go right to it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is a huge deal. And is this Jim? Hello? Uh-oh. Jim, can you hear us?
Not extremely well, but I can.
Okay. Well, we'll try to talk as loud as we can, because this is a really big deal for all of us here in the studio, because Jim has probably been a voice I have heard more in my adolescence than any other human being on the planet.
I mean, we'll run through some of the iconic characters that Jim has voiced, but we're talking Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Pete, Scar, the Tasmanian Devil, Dr. Eggman, Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, and my personal favorite, Savage Dragon, Zummy Gummy, on the line with us right now, and he is going to be at 90s Con, September 15th, 16th, and 17th at the Tampa Convention Center in downtown Tampa, and we would love for you to go see him. It is voice artist extraordinaire Jim Cummins. What's going on, man?
Well, all right. Well, I don't. Geez, I'm speechless, which is a terrible thing in my case.
Hey, thank you so much for the time. We're a little too excited to talk to you, because as we started really digging in, and it started a couple of days ago, because your book of your accomplishments, your resume, I couldn't think of the word, is
your book of jobs.
Yeah, your book of jobs is bigger than anybody I've ever seen. And thank you for the time. And I guess my first question would be, have you always wanted to be a voice artist? Is this what you set out to do as a young man?
Well, not always. But when I was 5 years old, that's when I knew. So those first 4 or 5 years, they were a little iffy.
Yeah.
But one day, this is true story. I was sitting there with my dad. We were watching the Jack Benny program, and there was a guy on there named Mel Blanc. Yeah. And my dad, and he was doing this famous bit about, so tell me, what is your name? C. And do you blah, blah, blah. Anyway, everything was the answers were all C, Psi, so. And he said, he's the guy who does Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and Tasmanian Devil. Yeah. And I thought, at the tender age of 5, I said to myself, well, he doesn't have to stand in the corner for being a weirdo, I'll bet. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So I did.
Oh, man.
And now I don't have to stand in the corner.
It's truly a dream job of mine. And, do you remember, and I think you have a story about this, but do you remember your first audition?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I do. I mean, it was for Dumbo Circus. And I went all out. I made a whole audition tape, and I did 3 or 4 characters on there, because I wanted to be the whole cast. I thought for sure I was going to be QT, the big ape, but I didn't get that job. But I got Lionel the Lion, and it was my first job, and it was great because they did. I want to say we did 120 episodes or 100. I can't even remember, but it was. It took a year and a half to get through them, and by that time I had an agent, and I was working in other things, a lot of radio spots, a lot of TV spots, and then bit by bit, the animation started rolling in, and I timed out perfectly because I was there for the Disney afternoon, and I was in literally every single show.
That's absolutely fascinating.
I was the title character.
Yeah, and at a time when animation, I would say, was really its golden age. A lot of these are almost Library of Congress type films at this point that are so important to animators. Yeah. Even now, they go back and reference. It was a golden age. Yes, Tom.
So, Jim, I'm curious.
Oh, it was.
I'm curious to your process when you're coming up with a voice for a character that someone wants you to do. Let's take Pete or Darkwing Duck, or when someone comes to you hey, we want you to voice this character, what kind of questions do you ask? Do you need to know the character's background? I'm just curious of what the process is.
Well, it always helps to see a picture of the character.
Yeah.
So Darkwing wasn't particularly big. He wasn't particularly small. So, I made him sort of right there in the middle, the terror that flaps in the night. And
he's the best.
And then you put the personality quirks in there. He's got a huge ego. He thinks he's all about all that in a bag of chips. And I mean, he doesn't have any superpowers. He's just a standard issue duck, but he gets around.
Yeah.
And it's you kind of factor all those things in, and my number one rule is that I don't want it to sound like any other character that I do. that's I don't want to have any bleed over.
That's got to be incredibly difficult considering the amount of work that you've done, and the fact that you are voicing a lot of characters that may be in the same universe. If you're voicing two ducks, I would imagine that's pretty hard to go, well, I got to give a duck A and I got to give a duck Z because they have to be different. Is that difficult for you?
Yeah, well, the fact is I was Darkwing and I was also Negaduck. And Negaduck, it was kind of easy. They just basically said it's Darkwing as an evil bad guy. So I just lowered his voice and made it more gravelly, that type of thing, right? So, and
That's crazy.
And it was it's kind of not a no-brainer, but it was that simplified it, Basically, evil Darkwing.
That's crazy good, man.
Jim, of course we have to ask you about Winnie the Pooh and how you came up with the iconic voice we all know, Winnie the Pooh.
And also, I got to piggyback on that. Is it scary to do a character that is literally like Winnie the Pooh's up there with like Mickey? That is a big.
Oh yeah.
That is a cultural icon, right? So, is it scary to do that?
Yeah. I never thought of it that way, but now it is.
Now you scared him.
Ruined it for me.
I'm an anxiety guy.
No, but as long as I've got a smackerel of honey, it shall be just fine.
Oh, Smack.
Wow.
I have chill bumps right now. Man,
By the way, you guys can hire Jim on Cameo, and he'll do these voices for you.
Oh, wow.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you like doing the
That is
cameo?
very true.
Do you enjoy doing that?
Yeah, I've got like 5 or 6 waiting for me right now when I hang up. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
How many cameos do you do a day, Jim?
Oh boy, it depends, but a few every day. At least 3 or 4 a day.
That's awesome.
And,
So if you have a kid
I
or
like
anything
doing
that's
it.
obsessed with one of these characters,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
have a personalized video from the
That's
character.
insane.
Yeah.
And not from somebody that just does the
Right.
voice, from
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
voice.
The voice.
Because
Yeah.
there is a difference, man.
Yeah.
There really is a difference. And I'm sorry if we're jumping all around, but again, we are super excited
No.
to talk to you. One of the things that Sam and I were kind of nerding out on is the fact that I never knew this. In fact, today was the first day I realized this. In the film The Lion King, there's a song sung by Jeremy Irons. And it's one of your favorite songs,
Yeah.
Sam. I'll kind of let you take it from here if you don't mind.
Well, I don't really have a question.
Well, I was going to say, how did it come about where Jeremy Irons is singing the? What's the name of the song?
Be Prepared.
Yeah, Be Prepared. So Jeremy Irons
Be Prepared.
he's singing Be Prepared. Can you tell us a little bit about the story of what happened there and how you kind of had to come in and save the day?
Well, Jeremy is an incredible actor, but a lot of actors don't sing and a lot of singers don't act, and I can't do either, so they let me do both. So I think that made almost some sense, but
Yeah,
probably
it did.
not.
It did.
Anyway, but
can sing,
they.
man. You can sing.
Well, thank you. Well, I've been known as a singer. I was the lead singer for the California Raisins, and a lot of different things. And so they kind of knew that Jim's over here, and he does pretty good impressions too. Blah blah blah. So basically, Jeremy never even says the words "Be prepared." Every time the title comes up, it's me, and then I pretty much close out the whole song after he does all the talking. By the way,
Right.
Oh,
I should say that.
Gotcha. But you do the singing.
Yeah, I mean he's no, we're gonna kill him. Simba too.
Yeah.
He was, and you just take that voice and you start singing. And I know it sounds sordid, but you'll be rewarded. And at last I am given my due. Ha! And you always have to laugh, by the way.
That is
When
just
you're a bad guy, you have to laugh at the end of the song. Like for Anastasia, I was Christopher Lloyd played Rasputin.
Yeah.
And he does not sing, and he jokes about it. I see him every now and then, and he goes, "Boy, I sounded pretty good," and yeah. And so I sang that big Andrew Lloyd Webber, Phantom of the Opera song, "In the Dark of the Night." Ba 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 ba.
Has there
So I
ever?
guess I'm kind.
Has there ever been anybody that you've been asked to maybe come in and duplicate or assist?
sing for them instead of...
and you can't do it? I mean, because it sounds like you pretty much can do anything you want.
Yeah, no, knock on wood, that hasn't happened yet. But
You can do
like
it
I say,
all.
knock on wood.
Yeah, but it's crazy to think that, you know, at the 11th hour and just being at the right place at the right time or working with Disney so much that they kind of know, it feels like they kind of know that they can go to you to do a lot of different things and that you're sort of a Swiss Army knife in the voice world in that you can do all of that. You know, like seriously, I had no idea that was you singing. I just found that out today and it like literally blew my mind that you have such a good voice. Not only a good voice of singing, but a good voice singing in character, which I think is a lot different.
Right, because you have to mimic the voice actor and then imagine what that would sound like as a singing voice.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Right. Well, you know, I've been singing for a long time, so it all comes fairly naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, too. It's, Jess Arnell says, it's the most fun you can have with your pants on.
There you go. Hey!
Jim, I'm just curious if there's any particular character or voice that you like doing the best.
Well, I'll tell you, Darkwing Duck's way up there. And more lately, more recent, it'd be Hondo Ohnaka from Clone Wars, Star Wars Clone Wars, and Rebels. He's one of my favorites for sure.
And they use your voice in the ride as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So cool.
They sure do.
That's got.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Have you visited and heard yourself and gone through the whole process?
Oh, sure. Yeah, yes, indeed. I mean, believe me, I knew all about it, step by step, and it's an awesome ride. You know, it really, really is. You know, and the walk up, you know, while you're standing in line, there's all these little tidbits that you know, little Hondoisms that pop up, and I won't spoil it for you, so you're gonna have to go and see it yourself. But it's a lot of fun, and there are. You know, I mean, you're riding in the Millennium Falcon, for crying out. What else do you want, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, we're running out of time here, but again, if you want to see Jim, if you want to, you know, meet him, get an autograph, see a voice, see a living legend right now, and get a little piece of your childhood back, you can see him at the Tampa Convention Center in downtown Tampa, September 15th, 16th, and 17th. Jim, thank you so much, and if you're ever in Orlando or something, we'd love to get you back in here, okay?
Sounds good. I'll keep you posted.
All right, man. We will indeed. Take care.
All right.
See ya.
I appreciate it, guys. Be well. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
what a
John.
nice man. I always cut him off. I always cut them off every single time.
Unfortunately, we got to get out of here now.
Yeah. I'm glad we at least got to do it.
Yeah.
I was scared that wasn't going to happen.
I'm looking at this 90s con. I might go.
Yeah, how dare he interrupt me trying to get my wife to wear better lingerie.
We will see you tomorrow. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
On Zoom with us right now to talk about the return of Crime Scene Confidential. Season 2 returns on Wednesday, September 6th.
Yes, sir.
On the ID channel. Alina Burrows is on Zoom with us. How you doing, Alina?
Hey, I'm good. How about you guys?
Real
Great.
good. Awesome. Glad to say that. I'm really glad to see that the hair stayed.
Yeah, you're growing it out.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were going to change the color. I didn't know if you were going to vary in any way. It's a huge...
Every season.
Yeah, you never
through the
know.
rainbow.
I love it, but I'm glad to see that it stayed and nobody had any, like, they're like, we got to get rid of the hair.
Well, pink is in right now.
It
Barbie movie.
It really is.
So,
Look, I was pink before the show started, actually.
Absolutely
So-
true.
Alina, I have to ask you because in the show, you know, we all kind of have an idea what crime scene investigators do, and we've seen the shows. You know, I say an idea because we really don't know. We just know.
think you do.
We think we do from the
Correct,
shows, but
yeah.
we always see them collecting the evidence at the crime scene in the lab, and they do most of their discoveries in the lab. But they're usually hands off with the actual criminals themselves, or interviewing humans. It's
Sure.
usually dead bodies and evidence.
Yeah.
And
little yellow, like the little flag you get at like a fast food restaurant. You have to place those everywhere for shell casings. All of that sort of stuff.
And Alina, you actually interview people, and you interview even
Scary people?
alleged killers.
Well, no, he was convicted.
And so I wanted to ask you, were you always good at that part of it? Because it seems like crime scene investigators are more
Vastly
into the
different than interviewers.
science and data, and they're not people.
Are you trying to say that a lot of us would be okay with like looking for clues, but not a lot of us would want to sit eye to eye with a potential killer?
It's hard.
Right.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, and I always compare having a TV show to having a child. So a lot of people, I don't have children. I have 2 seasons of TV. People try to, they want to have kids. They think they want to have kids. They go through the process, and then all of a sudden they find out they're pregnant, and then they're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's same thing, right? Like I get a TV show, and then I'm like, oh, well, now I have to make TV, right? Like, how do I know I'm going to be any good at making TV? They say, like, how do I know I'm going to be a good parent? Like, you don't know until you have a kid.
True.
Like, there's no camp for like figuring out how you're going to be a good TV host or like have kids. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, go make good TV. And I'm like, hyperventilating, right? Like, how am I going to do that? How do I know I'm going to be any good at making good TV? How do you know you're going to be any good at being a parent? So I don't know that I'm going to be any good at it. That's the short answer to that question. So thankfully, hopefully you agree that I am kind of good at it.
Yeah, well, a TV show is way harder than being a parent. You can't give a TV show an iPad, but just sit in the corner. A TV show won't just watch an iPad for 2 hours while
also
addicted to it.
In your TV show, you are in some points like interviewing people that could be potentially pretty sinister folks, right? Or maybe they have something to hide that to a lot of people would be very, I don't know. I don't know if I would be able to do that. Is there do you have to psych yourself up? Like, how do you get comfortable with doing that?
No. And I think, here's the thing. After years of crime scene, you have to come to the understanding that all people have a need to maintain an appearance, right? Yeah. Everybody does, whether you're convicted of murder or not. And I think that I've heard that everybody has 3 versions of themselves. Right? You have the version of you that you present to the outside world. You have the version of you that's like, at home in your pajamas, like when you're comfortable, maybe by yourself.
Yeah.
And then you have the version of you that you probably maybe aren't even comfortable sharing with you, that you kind of try to suppress, or you don't really even want to know, or maybe you wouldn't be comfortable if people necessarily found out about. And everybody has those 3 people. And so once you kind of figure out that everybody has those 3 people, then I think we're all the same, right? Nobody's all good or all bad. Everybody has a story to tell. And I have obligations to victims, certainly, like first and foremost, but I also have viewers, I think, that are going to want certain questions. If I'm sitting down with somebody, I think of, as an interviewer, I think of myself as a TV watcher too, right? And like somebody at home is going to be sitting there with some Cheez-Its going, man, why aren't you asking this? And you're sitting there, and why aren't you saying this? And why aren't you saying that? So I just think through that process. I think every process that I use involves empathy, right? If it's crime scene, I put myself in the position of the suspect or the victim. I put myself in the position of the viewer. What would I want to hear if I were in that place of interviewing somebody who's been convicted of murder? So I have to ask some really tough questions. I think there probably is a little heart flutter before I have to ask, the go-to question that, I can't leave without asking.
Yeah. Do you have to be careful in how you stack it, or much like a NFL coach, to put it in Tom's terms, or for me, like a band, you would put your set list together before you perform. Are you super careful in how you navigate your questions, in what order? Is there, do you overthink that at all, or?
Well, yes, I overthink everything. But yes, in terms of the questions, there are certain questions that I want to get to, right? I just don't want to jump in and be like, so did you murder this person or what?
That's me. That's what I would
have to develop a rapport with someone and get to a place where they feel comfortable, whether or not it's, because I also go from talking to family members who have lost somebody to homicide. And then maybe, the next day I'm talking to somebody who's convicted of a murder. And I have to be just very agile when it comes to interview. But no matter who I'm talking to, I think it's important that I build a rapport with them. They're trusting me to go on a very emotional journey with them. So I need to just have a conversation and, maybe tell me about your journey. Tell me about your life. Tell me about what this day was like. Tell me about when you found out that you were, going through this. We got to walk through that journey together. Before I get to like harder questions, I ease into harder questions. And then maybe I have some in certain interviews that I think are potential interview enders. Like if I ask this question, there is a distinct possibility that person's going to go, I'm done.
Right.
We're done.
Yeah.
So I have to do those last so that I get an interview regardless.
Yeah. I mean, you want to get the most out of whatever you have for the time that you have.
Alina, I think we all know as a society, like now is seemingly the hardest time to get away with any sort of crime because of cell phones that everybody has in their pockets,
security cameras,
and there's a camera everywhere, and then the technology, and if you go back 50 years, like different police organizations weren't even communicating with each other.
Right.
Like there was no database, there's no internet, and it was so it was seemingly super easy to get away with being a serial killer or a murderer because they didn't have any technology. No one was talking to each other. There was no video of anything, so I'm just curious is there a time that within a turning point where it became virtually next to impossible to get away with anything because of the advancement of technology?
So there's not a time you can point to because as technology is evolving, it's also evolving backwards and still catching people that thought they were getting away with stuff back then.
Yes.
Forensics evolves. Basically, I think we're at the point where it's kind of on par with medical science. Forensic science and medical science are evolving kind of on the daily basis. And genetic genealogy, used in the Idaho case, these are things that I think that's the next step in forensics. If you look at my social media feed, right, I follow a lot of the corporations that do genetic genealogy. And every day I'm seeing does that are identified, right? People that have been, just the boy in the box, or somebody that's just been a case that nobody has known about this person's identity for, 50, 60 years that are now being identified.
Wow.
Cold cases being closed right and left, cases that are being linked to each other. All it takes is if you have 5 cases that you have information on, you just got to link it to one case, maybe where there is DNA. And now all of a sudden you got 6 closed cases. So genetic genealogy is something that is now making it even more impossible to be a horrible human being. And it's retroactive.
What's the biggest advancement in technology that you've seen in the 12 years of being an investigator?
Genetic genealogy is okay. It's got to be it right now. That's what's closing the most cases for sure. And we have to be careful, right? It's not going to be the be all end all. It's not closing cases. It's providing leads to cases that are assisting in closing them, right? So it's not the holy grail. It's not like, some database just goes off and then somebody knocks on the door and you're under arrest. It's not the Minority Report or whatever movie that was. But what it does is it provides links to detectives. It says this is a possibility in a case where maybe they didn't have possibilities. And then it gives them, okay, now we're looking at video and, that does match this up. And now we're looking at something else. It gives them an avenue to travel down. That's why it's huge.
I'm also curious that, I've got so many different questions for you. One being, with there being so much video of everything now and Ring doorbells and all that. And the fact that, like you said, you can almost kind of go backwards in time with where would this person go, and you can follow their car through ATM videos and things and cell phone records because it seems like a lot of people are getting caught with cell phone records and Google searches,
security cams around areas where they piece together like a little movie of like the car driving through the city, and I'm like, wowee! I didn't even know that was possible.
Also,
the DOT. I mean, there's cameras on every highway,
or without any other evidence, someone's like, well, why'd you search how to dispose of a body here? How to kill your... People search like how to kill your wife. I don't know why they'd make it so specific, but...
Well, I've just done that for like a prank, just in case something happens.
And so that seems like that's catching a lot of people as well.
Oh, 100%. The days are kind of gone. You said before, like, years and years ago, it was like you could commit murder and then be like, well, I'm just going to move one town over.
Right.
And nobody will ever find me. And today it's not the case. They'll be like, well, there's, you used your Starbucks app or something, and also you ran a toll, and now you're going down.
Yeah, so. I saw one, I want to say last week, and this is becoming more and more common, and I'm sure you see a lot of this. I want to say it was Volusia County. It may not have been, but I think it was just, and it wasn't a serial killer. It was just a guy who murdered somebody. Yeah. And it seemed like he thought he got away with it. And then, like we're saying, back in time, and they put the DNA together. It was a cold case, and they're like, boop. And I think the guy was like in his 80s.
Wow.
And he had gone 40 years of thinking that he got away with it. I mean, who knows? He could have forgotten he even did it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was like, this is happening, man. This is like real stuff that happens like every single week. And there's a lot of that going on.
I've always said forensics is not a matter of if. It is a matter of when.
Right.
Alina, I think this is correct, but I had heard that when DNA technology first started hitting the courtroom, there was a problem with having to explain what it was to the jury because
it's witchcraft.
They didn't understand the science behind it, and
that's an interesting question because if you
and they didn't even believe that was even a possibility.
Right.
So it was convincing the jury that this is sound science and real.
Sounds like witchcraft
was part of it. Is there anything? I mean, with I guess genealogy, do you have to go through that with juries as well, where you have to explain that this is a 99.9% linked to this person, and so they believe the science?
Yeah, it will be a problem. Explaining genetic genealogy to people in a way that they understand, in a way that they see the odds, the probabilities, right? When I used to get lab reports back, it would say what the odds are at the bottom. So it's very helpful to, when you go in court, right? It's not like, hey, we got a match to the DNA. This is this person, and the odds of another match would be 1 in, and it would say something like 37 quintillion white males. And so you're thinking, I can't even comprehend that number, right? I don't even know if I said quintillion to a jury, if they're going to understand that number. I don't understand what a quintillion is, right? What is a quintillion? So you have to think about it and put it in something in a way that makes sense to a jury. Okay, what is a quintillion? If I had a football stadium and then I put 60,000 more football stadiums inside that football stadium, and I pulled one person out of there at random, it still wouldn't be in any way, shape, or form, the odds of that having a match.
It wouldn't be this person.
It's that person. How about take my word?
Yeah, no, it's crazy that you have to try and, you have to get hyper sophisticated, and then you have to take your hyper sophisticated whatever you learn and then hyper dumb it down to get your result. But that's nuts.
But all the knowledge in the world is irrelevant if you can't explain it in a way that people are going to understand it, and that that's my role on the show, right? Because people go, I'm so interested in true crime. I'm interested in forensics. Maybe I know that GSR means gunshot residue, but they don't know how many particles means that it's meaningful. Maybe some is meaningful and some isn't meaningful. Right. So my job is to navigate through the case and then translate and say what is meaningful in this case. And then we go, that's not important. And here's why it's not important. This is important, and here's why.
Right.
You know what? This just brings me to a point that I've said for years. We need robot jurors, and to get rid of humans.
Yeah, they always show up. They always show up.
We need computers to do this job because as you're explaining this, when you're one in every quintillion or whatever. People will then be like, you're telling me there's a chance. Because I do that with lottery. When I tell people there's a 0 chance of winning the Powerball, they're like, but one person does win.
That's me.
And then I'm like, no, but 1 in 100 million is 0. You understand? It's so close to 0. Yeah. It might as well think of it as 0. And they're like, no.
But it's not 0.
One person wins. And then
but now you're thinking like an attorney. So that's exactly how an attorney thinks in court, which is why every time I testify, they ask you something like, is it possible, CSI Burroughs, that, another person could have come in, committed this crime, left no evidence, completely undetectably left, not set off the alarm, locked the door behind them and, taken off, right? Is it possible? Well, now I'm in a very odd position in court where I have to say, is it possible? Yes.
But very unlikely. Yeah.
Probable.
Yeah.
No, right? Because we deal with it with the realm of possibility and probability in forensic science, right? It is possible that somebody came in on a unicorn and stabbed somebody and then flew off on a unicorn. Is it possible? I don't know. Maybe unicorns exist. Is it probable? Really, no.
Right.
Right.
Alina, is there any one particular case that keeps you up at night?
Oh my God, this is exactly what I was going to ask her, because
I know mine.
I got one too I'm obsessed with this Idaho thing that it seemed like it happened and then they got him and then it's gone away.
Well, they're building the case.
But that usually makes me feel like it's real disgustingly, real bad scary. That's what I feel like. That guy, when I look at his face, oh my God, he rattles my spine. That weird nerd. Oh my God, I hate him.
So is there any case that...
Sorry.
We didn't want to hear yours, Dan.
Sorry. I know. I'm sorry. I had a moment.
Yeah. Any case that you think about before you go to sleep, or like trying to figure it out?
Like a cold case?
If I just think about it a little longer, or replay it in my head.
I think of so many cases. I think it's so hard to pick one because I'm always like, if I just had access to the case files, I think I could do something with it, right? From John Bonet to our local case, Jennifer Kesse.
Yeah.
Yep.
If there are these cases, I just am always like, but would somebody just be willing to sit down with me and open up the case file? Because when I look at the cases for the show, I look at the entire case file, right? So I look at crime scene photos, I look at police reports, autopsy reports. If there's been a trial on the case, I read the trial transcripts. So everything, and it usually ends up being 2,000 to 4,000 pages of documents. And I read through every bit of it, and I'm looking for the little thing that nobody noticed. I'm looking for the little slip, the something, and it's happened this season, and I live for that moment. I love it so much. And when I can get to that interview and I go, yeah, but when they said this and then this happened in court, why did nobody pick up on that?
Right.
Or, you're a defense attorney and this said this, and then I researched that particular model of vehicle and found this, and then this is on this side, and did you use that as a defense? And I live for those moments, right? I feel an enormous amount of pressure for victims and for families, not from a TV show or from a network, but personally for victims, to put a new set of eyes on a case. And not because I'm so great, just because it's a new set of eyes.
Sure.
And I want to see the thing that maybe somebody didn't see. And so I want access to every case file.
Yeah,
Right.
you did mention the Jennifer Kesse case. Have you talked to that family at all? Because I know that they won their case against the police department to get those files.
They are the nicest human beings on the planet.
I have not talked to them, so I would be happy to look at that file for them.
Yeah, that'd be good. Got to get Alina on the case.
God, that one came up in the chat room. I mean, obviously it's Loco, and we all our heart goes out to the family. And I've met them a couple of times, and that's rough stuff.
Well,
cases without closure. I can't imagine the pain of a family of going to sleep every night and not knowing where your loved one is. I'm an empath, and I've talked before about how I use that to my ability as an investigator, and it's draining and it's gross to put yourself in the role of a suspect. But I empathize with that. How do you go to sleep at night wondering where your child is, what your last moments were?
Absolutely no clue.
I'm a hope guy. I'd be holding on to that for the rest of time.
I can't imagine.
Or just the fact that Sam asked you that question, it made me think, how often do you get approached by family members of cold cases? Then they're like, hey, can you help us? Help me solve it, because of your notoriety, and people think...
And they probably think you're a conduit to it, and you do it all the time, and you're like, sure, it's like handing a person your demo tape.
Police departments don't exactly like to hand over case files.
But it's Alina like, I'm going to stop everything. This is a super complicated thing that's going to take 10,000 hours of
research. As an empath, I'm sure that you can't handle that so well.
I'm sure you have to tell people, I can't spend the time to start researching a new case. Like, I'm doing a TV show, I'm a crime scene investigator.
Do people reach out to you?
Yes. Yeah, I do frequently get people that, because, and bless them, like I understand entirely why. And I would do the same if I were looking for, some answers, for some truth for my loved one. It's the hardest thing, I think, in the world for me. And it's not something, I'm sure you understand, that I can just read a file and give you an answer. And that would be a complete disservice to them.
Sure.
It's not like I can read it and be like, oh, this was a suicide or this was a murder, right. And a lot of what I get is people that have what they have been labeled as a suicide that they feel is a homicide, or there's some sort of homicide versus suicide at play. It's very, very, very hard for a lot of reasons. But one is I don't ever know if I have a complete case file. I need an entire case file. I need law enforcement to make sure that I have access to everything, because I'm a crime scene investigator. And a lot of times people are like, I'll give you the report. I can't look at a report and look at words and tell you 100% what happened. I need to see the pictures. I need to look at the crime scene. I need to look at the wounds. I need to see, to get a complete picture of what occurred. And a lot of times, like I said, I don't blame them, but I can't give them a complete answer without a complete file. And it's so time intensive and emotionally intensive. And yeah, I can't give it the time it deserves.
Sure. I mean, it's also not, it's not really the process, because the process is not a quick, easy,
let me look through
I'll
the file.
listen to your demo. Your band's got it. Yeah,
this is the answer. Like, people want a miracle, but that's emotional,
and also I've been, it's like I know some people that when you think that maybe one of your loved ones might have done, it's very hard to believe that maybe you have a loved one that would kill themselves, right?
Of course.
I think most people would. You don't want to ever believe that. So, you know what I'm saying there.
Yes, it's a very emotional. When we look at especially homicide, suicide. If you look at a manner of death, of suicide, if you're a family member, there's a lot of other emotional attachments that come with that, right? You have to think, if you come to that conclusion, that you could have stopped it. You have to think potentially, maybe I missed something, or why weren't they comfortable coming to me, or why didn't I see signs? So there's a lot of guilt that comes along with that.
Yeah.
And so if you think it was potentially homicide, does it take that away? Is it, there's nothing I could have done about that? It's so emotional. It's so much more than just cut and dry and reading evidence and saying that. So it's very intense.
Alina, last question, and I'm curious in your career, have you ever seen a case where you were 95% positive that the evidence led to this person doing it, or this, to one conclusion, and then you found out you were wrong, or you've been surprised? You're like, whoa.
Didn't see that coming.
I didn't see it coming, because all the evidence pointed this way, and then some new piece of surprise evidence came out. Or is it really, that's for movies and TV shows?
If you take your time and you start connecting the dots, you're going to get there.
I'm just curious to how often those surprises actually happen, or if that's just what we see in movies and shows.
I have not been wildly surprised by anything. I have had no suspect type of cases where I've gotten a CODIS hit. CODIS stands for Combined Offender DNA Indexing System. So CODIS is the database that was started by the FBI. They had this idea that, we're going to start building this database of offenders, and then eventually we're going to put all felony offenses. We're going to mandate that once they are convicted, that we will compel a sample. So once, I forget the year, but once that became a thing, they started off with burglaries, and then they kind of eased into it, adding other crimes, and then it became all felonies. So when you are convicted of a felony, you're booked into the jail. They take a swab of your a buccal swab of the inside of your cheek, and they put that into CODIS. So now you are a convicted felon. Your DNA lives in that database. So then, as a crime scene investigator, if I go out and I have a homicide and I have maybe no suspects, maybe it's just a person that is shot on the side of the road, and I've got nothing, right? No tire tracks, just absolutely nothing but my victim with a gunshot. but I collect a cigarette butt. And I don't know, was it a cigarette butt that was just trash that was on the road? Was it a cigarette butt that fell out of a car that shot this guy and dumped him out? I don't know. And then I get a CODIS hit. Somebody that smoked this flicked the cigarette out, and they're in the CODIS database already because they've committed some sort of crime, and maybe they've served their time and been released. So I have had those aha moments where we've had no leads, and then CODIS provides a lead to us, right? It doesn't mean you go arrest that person for homicide, but it means you go start asking them some questions.
Right. It just gives you another avenue to go to, and then you do it again, right?
Alina, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. Again, Crime Scene Confidential returns September 6th on the ID channel, so make sure to check it out. Season 2, Alina does a great job. We appreciate it, and we'd love to have you. I know you're local, and I want to tell everybody your support. Alina, she's local, Central Florida. If you're going to
shop and drink local, you can watch local too. You know,
That's right. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you want to see Season 3, you got to watch Season 2. So thank you, guys.
Hey, anytime, and take care of yourself. Good luck with the show.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye.
That was really, really cool. And what a crazy job, right?
I'd
love to do that.
I guess
I couldn't do that.
The only question I didn't ask that I'm curious is, which is probably just the type of person she is, how do you compartmentalize?
Well, that's what the chat room wanted to know. Therapy. They're like, do you go to therapy?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess yes.
She's probably just
I would assume so.
wired that it doesn't affect her as much as
but I think it would be smart for anybody. It'd be like, what do you do? It's like, I'm a diver. I'm a top-tier diver. Are you in great shape? I am. You know, like, I think she probably does all the things she needs to do.
She's a computer. She doesn't need therapy. It's a straight computer.
That's not how it works.
Next time she gets in here, we'll find out.
Tough.
We'll find out.
All right. We will be right back.
It is A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hey.
Let's plug some fun stuff. We always have fun stuff.
Well, I will mention that Casey put together a best of year 5 BDM show.
Yeah.
And what that means is we've been doing BDM shows for 10 years. And so he basically took the best segments out of an entire year, year 5 of us doing this. We're on year 10 now.
And if you don't know what BDM shows are, we have a subscription component to every show that we do that's really just us independently giving you, well, we're not giving you, you're paying for it, but it's $2.95 a month. You can subscribe, and you get extra shows, extra old shows, extra parties, exclusive content. We try to give everything first to the BDM members, and that's what that's all about.
Yeah, if you go on the site, you could actually, it's a sliding scale. You could pick your own amount you want to pay.
Who invented the sliding scale? It should have been at just a huge amount. Only way you can get a huge amount.
Well, now we're subscription fade, and anyway.
Never saw it coming. But check it out. It's TomandDan.com/subscriptions.
So you get extra shows, and one of these we're going to release today is the best of year 5. So we're going to try to do this more where we release like best of BDM only shows.
Well,
so
it dawned on us that we have so much content that we could release this stuff to BDMs, or we can make it easy. Look, we know you guys are just as lazy as us. So what we'd like to do is find the best of the best, curate it for you, and then give it to you. That way you're not having to search for it. Because trust us, the BDM membership is such a value because there are 1,000 hours of content. More than that?
Well, it's 10 years. We do a show every single
So
day.
Do you want to dig through that? Do you want to dig through that, or do you want us to curate it and give that to you? I mean, you can dig through it if there's something specific you want to find.
Yeah.
But it's just easier for us to curate it, repackage it, give it to you, make it easy.
Let's say 52 hours a year. So it's over 500 hours.
But all the specials.
Then there's special.
And all the old shows.
The old shows.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, but like 500 hours
it's
of
at least hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
So check it all out at TomandDan.com / I said subscription. It's / registration.
Yeah, it's on our front page.
Yeah, you can find it.
Let's do some voicemails.
Okay, voicemails or emails? We got both. So we'll fire up some voicemails. Here we go. This one is, I think, here you go.
Hey guys, BDM Chris. Listening to Friday Pre-Show, and what Tom is describing to Brendan, isn't that metrosexual? You know, it was like a big thing, the queer eye for the straight guy and stuff like that, where you can have straight guys who just know fashion and who are very, on the spectrum of gay, but not gay. They like women. They're just, like Will.i.am and his mannerisms. It's just the way they are.
I don't think being stylish, though, is on the spectrum of being gay.
Yeah.
It's not, but it is associated. I know what he's saying.
Right.
Yeah. And
it goes with the stereotype.
A lot of people will use that term, although I feel like I haven't heard the term metrosexual in a long time.
Oh my God, you stole it out of my mouth. I think we got rid of it. Because
I think we did too.
I think we realized that by saying metrosexual, you weren't...
It has nothing to do with your sexuality.
It doesn't. There are plenty of people I know
it's like people that like to take care of like their appearance, basically, right? They're very clean.
Yeah.
They have good hygiene. They care about style and what they look like.
Yeah. And like... even decoration. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Decor. Their house is put together. They're organized. Yeah.
It's strange, though, that because of what we thought gay was, that has become part of the spectrum.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not, I don't think. But it's
just associated with...
It's associated
it's a stereotype. It's a stereotype.
Yeah, it is a stereotype. But
mostly right. Not always. That's
it's not always. But if you're trying to win and you have to guess, I always go with that. I always look at it like if you have to win and you had to assume.
If I'm putting my money on one side of it,
Exactly. But yeah, it's funny how that's kind of gone away. Because you do see a lot of.
It's pretty outdated, right?
It is. So. It's funny how quickly that term dated itself. Right? That's weird. I've never really thought about that. Let's try this one from, I believe, one of our overseas listeners, unless you have something you want to say.
No.
Okay, I thought you had a thought.
So you guys mentioned F1 on the show recently, and I actually went down to the race in Miami a few weeks ago. I wasn't planning on going originally, and I remember Tom said something on the show, something like, you're never going to look back at something and be glad you didn't do it. So I took that to heart. I've been trying to live more like that recently, and I got some tickets and went down there. And yeah, I had a great time. I loved it. They built the track around the Miami Dolphins Stadium, so that was interesting to see for sure. You were saying how it looked like a expensive, high-class sport to follow. I got the bottom of the barrel, lowest, cheapest tickets, general admission for 3 days, and just to get in, and it cost me $600. So yeah, it was a bit of a stinger.
Holy crap! I was right. Stereotypes.
Well, my buddy Fernando, like some a customer that's rich of his because he's a GM of a restaurant
for GA.
They
I saw Sam's wig go whoop whoop.
They gifted him tickets, and they were like $380 a piece for like one of the days in some area,
Wow.
And like it was crazy high price. And I don't know if you ever been to the Dolphin Stadium. Nothing good around there. It's just like it's not. You know what I'm saying?
You took me the wrong direction. They haven't renovated it. It's not nice.
No, it is. But I'm just saying it's not
around
like,
the area.
You're in Broward County, basically. You're like north. So it's not like you're in downtown Miami, South Beach. You know what I'm saying? Like it's sort of like the Mecca of Miami is like the stereotype of what Miami is. Is like they built the stadium out north.
Is it like what?
It's a Hollywood.
Is it sort of like when the three of us went out to the Players when we were working with those guys? Remember the Arnold Palmer? Remember when we were working at the Arnold Palmer Invitational? Is it like that where they come to town and F1 comes in
and they build a city?
Yes.
And then, I would love to experience that.
Derek
that sounds very. It's not something that's even on my dance card, but it sounds like something I want to go to.
You can spend, from what I understand, you can spend like a whole day just on like one side of the town and not see everything. And then like that's why they have like a whole week of it, I think.
And it's just like what? Installations and things you can see.
Sponsors
and cars and models
stuff,
and
behind the scenes stuff, autographs, meet and greets.
That's pretty cool.
The merch, the food vendors, the whole thing is giant, and then the opulence of everybody, the rich people. Like you can see the celebrities over in the pits, and
you can have the old fashioned in the air conditioned lounge.
You're like, there's Mike McDaniel walking around, the coach of the Dolphins.
And then a celebrity saunters by. Is that Freddie Prinze Jr.?
But you're
sorry, that's the only person I can think of.
But it is like $600 to walk around an expensive carnival. And then most people I feel like go for the
opulence, not for the race.
And then they have no idea what the hell is it. They're like,
well, that's NASCAR, right? I mean, isn't that NASCAR?
Who's winning?
I feel like most of the people, like especially on the infield. I mean, most of those people are
just
party. A lot of those people are to be seen. A lot of those people are like, look at my truck, look at my wife's boobs, look at my kiddie pool, look at my flags.
Any NASCAR race that we went to and we were partying in the RV, it was just drink beer in an RV in the infield and wander around and talk to people.
I couldn't tell you who won any race, and I probably did that 6 times.
You know, you look at the race a little bit, but then it's like you're back. I mean, we're not the enthusiasts, but that's how they make their money, off of just people wanting to be involved in the spectacle. And I think, that's the majority. I like how many actual people that go there are diehard F1, follow the races, know the points. Like, how many people, if you ask them, who's the points leader,
couldn't tell you. Some Italian guy.
I
would say an Italian man.
I think if you're 20%. Spending that kind of money, though,
this guy knows.
You care.
Oh, you want to hear something super creepy? Remember my little house that was Studio One, was A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan Studio One. It was over right behind Park Ave CDs here in town. That garage, when we bought that place, I did one of those things where you kind of peek in the garage. Like when you see it, you walk around, you look at it, you're like, this is a nice garage. No big deal, right? So we get the house, we buy it, and then when I get to the house and we're loading everything in, you and I use the garage a lot to load in. You remember I had the pod and everything?
Yeah.
When I opened the door to that garage, the guy that lived there was and I didn't know these people existed, he was fanatical about F1. Every inch of that garage had posters of cars and different drivers and autographs and all of this stuff. I mean, hundreds of photos. It was crazy.
I feel like F1 is really starting to hit the mainstream.
That
Netflix
documentary I heard blew it up.
The series?
Yeah, the series.
Okay, yeah.
Right,
the reality show?
Yeah.
Right. Wasn't Sylvester Stallone in an F1 movie where he was like a driver? Could you look that up? I want to say within the last 15 years, there was a movie that I remember. It was like
Driven.
Yes,
that was 2001. That was a long
I missed
time
it. God, I missed it. I'm 20 years off. I was 5 years off. I said 15 years.
That was peak Stallone.
That was peak Stallone. Yeah.
That was right. What was it about? Cliffhanger.
What was he? Was he an F1 driver?
Let's see.
He's a little guy, right? But too wide. You don't want to be wide to get in the car.
Those guys are like horse jockeys.
Yeah,
they're tiny Italian men.
Tiny Italian men.
With tiny little feet.
A tiny Italian man.
This is a young hotshot driver. What does that mean?
No, I think that he was the old driver. There's a kid, I think, in it who's the young new guy.
So is that like Gran Turismo, what they're doing now?
Maybe.
Well, the Gran Turismo, that's a whole different racing series.
But that looks good, too.
There was an F1 movie that Damon and someone else was, another star.
Matt Damon?
Yeah, Matt Damon. And there was
Damon Johns.
No, I mean Matt Damon. And then someone else was that. God, who was it?
Talking about Brad Pitt? Brad Pitt's F1 movie.
No, I thought it was or maybe I'm talking about Ford versus Ferrari.
That was good.
Which that was F1 too, right?
I think there are bits of it in there. You want to keep going?
I heard, those F1 cars, if someone gave us $100,000, we could literally just drive it down the street. Well, I don't think we could even get it out at first.
I don't think you'd know how to use the controls on the steering wheel.
And just
it's all push button transmission, right? Isn't it?
And I think just trying to, feather the clutch and the gas enough to get it out, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Change the gears.
It's a finesse
so complicated that I don't think the normal person couldn't do it.
I also think it's almost like having a hair trigger on a gun or something. It's like you have to know the feeling of it, and you have to be in that world to even. It could be extremely dangerous to just stomp on the pedal of. How many horsepower is that?
It is insane. These dudes have been racing go-karts since they were 3 years old. And,
we have a decent amount of BDMs in our chat room that we stream every single day. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live or at Tom and Dan Live on YouTube. People that follow F1. It's got some juice behind it, man.
People really like it.
I would go. Let's check in with everybody's favorite pervert, Kenny.
Tom and Dan and Sam. Hey guys, it's Kenny. Suggestion for Randy, Stankonia by Outkast. You should definitely listen to that top to bottom. Just wondering if you guys happen to know of any songs that do the hooah in it. That seemed to be like a late 80s, early 90s thing that people who were trying to sound hard would do. And just in the middle of the song, they would just go hooah. And I distinctly remember New Kids on the Block doing it in their song Step by Step, but I know that there are a few others that did it, but I just didn't know if there were any other songs that pulled that off, because, you never hear a good hooah in the middle of a song anymore. All right, guys. Love you. Bye.
Is the hooah a thrusting hooah? Is it like hooah? It's like you're giving it to her.
Or is it like karate? Like hooah?
No, I think
it's an audio boof.
I think it's a boof. I think you're giving it to her. X going to give it. Yeah. I think you're putting it. You're putting it. You're putting it.
You're thrusting it.
You're thrusting it.
It's an audio thrust.
It is. And it's you expressing to the world what you're doing with your abdomen.
Yeah.
So if you do this, you have to go.
Yeah.
It's not the same if you do it silently.
Yeah.
You do it silently, though. How do you thrust silently? Or do you do a hooah in your mind?
Yeah,
you hum.
You can't do that.
That's a strong, violent thrust.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
Normally, when I feel like New Kids, I feel like also Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch may have done a hooah. I feel like you grab an imaginary ass.
Oh.
But in order to be not too crass, you close your fists, right? Because you're not an animal.
Yeah.
And when you pull back as if to a lot of Bahamian men dance like this. There is a style of boof dancing that I'm into, where island men and women, people in Antigua, I believe, and like in Caribbean discos across the Caribbean, you get your wife to slam her ass into you.
We're talking to Dyson about this.
Yeah, we should.
What is the boof dance?
Yeah, what is the boof dance? Sam, are you familiar with the
dance hall?
No, it's a violent. You are,
and you never stop.
And then sometimes the girl
they fall
is doing like
you'll knock her wig off,
acrobatic flip onto your weight.
Yeah, it's called daggering.
Whoa!
Yeah. And then you dagger them off the stage.
Yeah.
And then it's to the point where it's so violent. What is happening?
No, hold on. I have to correct you, sir.
Apparently it's Jamaican origin.
It appears violent. It is not violent. Some would say that it's some of the most expressive and passionate dancing in the world. It is not violent. It is simulated violence, but there's no violence
involved. It is part of the dance hall.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful art form.
But they'll boo.
I go out. What would you say if you're Friday after the Friday Free Show at TomandDan.com? I'm doing the normal chirping. I'm like, Sam, you got plans this weekend? She's like, yeah, we got some stuff to do. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to Satellite, and then you're like, I don't know why you said this because you normally don't, but you're like, well, what are you doing, buddy? And I'm like, oh my God, he talked to me. And I say, I'm taking Andrea. I'm going to take her to
a violent
take her to Dagger. We're going to go daggering. We're going down on I-Drive. We found a Caribbean bar, and we're going to go daggering. Daiquiris and daggering.
I like it when the guy is ultra skinny.
Little. He's going to be little.
Tiny.
And there's a big mama.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Or she just has such an enormous butt.
There's something nurturing about the enormous butt with the skinny man where you feel like he's just being taken care of by her body weight.
But he's trying to violently boof it.
But he can't. He's just too small.
It's like a stick man.
Yeah, it's like MC Hammer. Can't boof that.
And she's not even bothered by his violent boofing.
It's part of the dance.
Because
it's courting. It's courtship.
He only weighs 93 pounds.
Oh, yeah. And she's 260 if she's a pound.
Yeah.
And it works. It just works, right? Because if they were both big, wouldn't work. And if they were both skinny, it'd be too harsh.
Yeah.
Too many angles there. You need something. You need soft surfaces.
Yeah. Although I would, just for curiosity's sake, would like a giant dude and skinny girl.
That'll never happen. Culturally, that's like, what are you talking about? What are you, insane?
Sorry.
Guys, next thing you're going to ask for unicorns. Oh, I want to believe in unicorns. There's no such thing as that. It's big mama and skinny dude. It transcends all race. It's not a racial thing. It will be in the white community. It's big hillbilly with skinny dude. It's what happens. Sorry. Let's try this one right here.
Hey everybody, Hilton Head BDM. I think I got a good one. So I'm rewatching The Sopranos, right? And almost done with it in two things.
I have so many people that I know that are rewatching The Sopranos. What's going on?
Never saw it.
It's good. You know,
Too much other stuff to watch.
Exactly. I don't suggest things to people because Sam's right. She's already got a list. I don't
It's
need
also
to suggest
so
anything.
old at this point. It's like, well, it happened.
It is so old, but I will
the
say
world has moved on.
It's some really good performances if you're into acting.
It's just too much. If it was a movie, it'd be different.
Yeah,
but
I
because
agree.
it's a whole series, I'm like,
I'm not trying to.
I missed the
again,
boat.
see, I'm falling into it. I'm almost not suggesting it.
I missed the boat. It's fine. I'm sure it's great.
God, I do that with a lot of things.
Don't go back and watch it. Here's why.
I wasn't gonna.
Because
I was not suggesting it.
I believe that even though I watched the whole Sopranos and I think it's
You don't
really
think it holds
good,
up?
No, I think it would be, but I'm biased because of nostalgia, which I believe
That's what I mean. Yeah.
plays into a lot of the rewatch.
Dude, it plays into everything
because I feel like there's some comfortability for people when they rewatch something and they'll forget. Like
It's a comfort show.
I want to go back and watch Game of Thrones again because when I first watched it, we were binging it. I think it was like during COVID or whatever. And
it's not
I
a
feel
fun binge watch. Game of Thrones. It's better. It was better week to week, dude.
I forgot a lot of stuff, and then sometimes me and Crystal would fall asleep like after the
they're
second
long
episode,
as hell.
and then we'd go back the next day, and then we were like, "Did we watch that? Whatever." We just
And
started.
it's complicated.
Yeah, and we knew that there was an infinite amount back then. When we started, we're like, we don't have to pay attention. And I feel like I missed a lot, so I'll go back and watch it. But if I hadn't have watched it the first time, I don't think I would watch it and get the same enjoyment
Right.
just because I've already kind of know, so I feel comfortable watching it again. I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I do. I make Andrea so mad because I don't rewatch movies. I don't rewatch shows. If I've seen it, I've seen it, and I never go back.
It's kind
like
of
it could literally be the best movie in the world. Like after I saw Avatar with 3D goggles. And the embers are falling down.
You don't need to rewatch Avatar.
No, but I'm just saying, it wasn't any, like, no movie. Like, the first time I saw The Hangover, I was like, comedies are back. I'm just trying to go with movies that I felt something, right? I don't look at it ever and go, can't wait to see that again or roll it again. Like, I'm just not, even roller coasters. You go on a roller coaster one time, that's exhilarating. I loved it. Let's go again. I'm like, I guess. I don't care. I've done it. That's just me. I'm a weirdo.
It's a hard argument to rewatch something when there's so much new stuff.
Well, let's go back into his voicemail. I sort of hijacked it.
Are happening in my brain. One, they're both from sound. It's weird. One, Tony is eating pasta all the time, right? And just him eating it, the sound of him eating this
He's
pasta
a loud eater. It's part of the character.
made me really want pasta. So, like, I've made spaghetti 3 times for myself this week. The other thing, though, at the same time, is like in the show, like Tony hooks up with like the hottest girls, but every time he's like about to, like, you know, he's flirting, putting on the Riz. He's like, making all these noises with his mouth. When he breathes, you can hear him breathing.
Oh, God.
And he's all sweaty and stuffing gabagool down his mouth, and it's gross. He's all gross, and then the women are like, yeah, you're gonna get it. That's just disgusting. But
I don't know what you were going on about with the last part. What are you, some sort of pervert?
And also, do you know how rich, powerful men work?
You can be disgusting, and women will still bang you.
It's from the beginning of time that the kings were big, fat, disgusting slobs, and they'd have a concubine.
Here's what I would say to him. Remember, this is Mr. 3 Fans that got mad at us because we called him out for having 3 fans. If you don't understand why disgusting men can sleep with hot women, you're probably disgusting.
Yeah. If Tony Soprano wasn't rich and the leader of the mob, then no one would be attracted to him.
Let's keep moving through.
Also, there's a lot of it was prostitution. You know what I'm saying?
There were strippers that worked at the Bada Bing.
Yeah. They never really. Maybe they showed it sometimes, but it was just like an or understood thing that he was paying for that.
It was also to give you the sort of the anti-hero thing with Carmela, right? Carmela, because we all kind of grew to like her character, right?
Yeah.
So it tugs on your heartstrings to think that he's this guy that could both be good to his family and also be cheating on her at the same time. So for somebody like me, it's a mind F, right?
Yeah.
It's good writing.
I'm like, see, it can happen.
Yeah, I was like, this is what I want. Let's try this one.
Just Dan in Palm Bay. You were talking about Max's and Tommy's school, and you had to fill out all the papers, and when you were in the corner, all that stuff. But I was thinking about it, and you had to fill out some papers Do you know that your teacher or your son's teacher is going to have to call him Maximilian?
We know. We did this, right?
That's the whole thing. That was what the whole story was about. Making people forget the point of the story.
Yeah, that's why.
Could be a thing where they haven't fully listened to the entire segment yet. You know?
That happens a lot where people will pause the show and be like, I'll help them.
They got to spit it out, and then they're like, oh.
Maybe we're...
Disregard that last voicemail.
That's why I had to write his whole name, is because they like, you have to fill out a paperwork for us to call him Max, which we did. It's an easy thing. It's not like some long paperwork. It's just like, hey, Max, all right.
We got it.
It's like, this is a formality now, so anyway.
Let's try this one right here.
Man, every time that the librarian Silence would speak, Javier would just blast her with every single piece of yard equipment he has out there. He is just on fire this week.
A couple of weeks ago, we had on a guest from the library. It was our friend Silence.
Yeah.
And she's so sweet. And she came in here, and it's true, because I went back to listen to it to
trying
check
to silence.
Every time Silence would go to say something, our yard guy would come to the door and rev his blower really loud.
Well, it's not ours. It's the community.
I like to paint the picture, though, so people think we're more powerful than we are.
But also, I've never seen him do something that we needed to do.
No, I've never seen leaves up here.
Yeah, it's like
I want to put that out. That is the cleanest. It's always looked clean.
He blows our mat out.
Yeah, he blows our mat into the street, and I got to go get it.
It's because they have to. There's no incentive to get it done fast, so you just go walk down the sidewalk, right. Blow in anything, little leaf, the one tiny leaf on the sidewalk. Doesn't need to be blown off. It'll be fine there. It'll eventually just make its way over to the grass. It's no big deal.
Now, what they will do is they'll wait until, like, maybe I've washed my car and I come back here to do something, and I'll pull my car up here, and then they'll blow all the leaves onto my car, which I'm like, well played.
Your association fees are paying that.
Yeah, I know.
And then, like, whatever company, they're not going to suggest...
Brightview. It's Brightview. I'll say
less.
the company.
Yeah, they're never going to say, like, we don't need all this. Like, you can, we'll do it for less.
And they're very nice. Do we continue? Keep going?
I think, okay, let's take a break.
All right.
When we come back, we'll talk to one of the Baja men.
We can ask him about daggering.
How did you do this? Can't we talk about that? Do you think daggering is in the Junkanoo Caribbean community?
We'll ask him. And just because I've pre-plugged this, it'll never happen.
Yeah, that's
good. For sure, I'll never call.
Yeah, we'll be back with Alt. What's his name?
Dyson
from the Baja Men.